So Andre Ward continues his cherry picking this weekend, making it the fourth in a row, third cherry pick from his comeback in this Saturday's, disgraceful defense or outing against unknown Alexander Brand. And I know a lot of hardcore fans that don't even know this guy, so it's not just a guy that the casuals wouldn't have heard of. It's a guy that a lot of us have never even heard of or seen. And his claim to fame and what you see people trying to justify and say this is a legit match and Brand is a legit opponent is he has 0 wins over any credible opponents. His claim to fame is getting a loss to a green Badu Jack in 2012. So this is happening this Saturday. It's going to be the last tune-up before the Kovalev fight in the fall. Now I'm just going to do a quick look at both guys and then give my prediction at the end, which, I mean, it's pretty clear. Alright, so Andre Ward, he's 32 years old, American boxer, and Alexander Brand, turns out that he's a Colombian, I believe, and he's damn near 40 years old at 39 years of age. Ward is 29-0 with 15 KOs. Brand is 25-1 with 19 KOs. Brand has a 73% KO percentage, and Andrea Ward has a 52 percentage. Height for Ward, 6 foot. Height for Brand. I saw the face-off, and they looked a lot different in height. This one has him listed as 5'10". I wouldn't doubt if he's like 5'9", somewhere around that. Reach, they're about the same there. They're both listed at 71. And best wins for Andre Ward. I know a lot of people are kind of being nostalgic, hanging on to the old days of his wins over Kessler and Fraj and a weight-drained Chad Dawson. And Alexander Brand, on the other hand, he has, like I said, 0 notable wins. You know, people know him because he lost to a green Badu Jack, 4 or 5 years ago. So, I mean, that's basically it. I tried finding some of his fights against anyone, like, looking through his record, if anyone else that we might recognize, and absolutely none. Nothing. So, and this is, they say this is Ward chasing greatness and his move up to 175, and the fight is indeed finally at 175. He's only had one fight at 175. He asked for a catch weight at 172 versus Bum Paul Smith. We remember that. But, when looking at it, it's actually, I thought Ward was the one moving up in weight. And it's actually the reverse. Alexander Brand is the smaller 168-pound boxer. Yes, 168. He's the one moving up here. And not like I said, not only that, he's a damn near 40-year-old guy. 0 notable wins. Already got beat by, a guy that was still fresh and green. That's still not even like, I don't know. And, how the fuck is this going to prepare him for Kovalev? We saw Kovalev fight Chilemba, and I said it, I was like, damn. Even though, yes, it was a clear-cut victory for the Russian, but he just looked a little frustrated and, kind of not his same crusher self, because obviously he didn't get the knockout. He got, I think, 2 knockdowns, at least 1 for sure, but no KO, stoppage, anything like that we normally see. Now, but that was, even though it made him look like shit, he still clearly won, but it gave him more of a, okay, we're going to stretch you 12 rounds, and you're going to deal with a boxer that can move, control range, and give you, some good defense, keep you from connecting that knockout punch. And which is good, because that is going to fit Ward's style of, defense first, always defense first, and then, see what he can do. But occasionally he has come forward, but you can tell that it's just here and there, and it only feels when he can do it, when he's the stronger at that point. Brand, the Badu Jack fight, I'll say I went back to watch it because that was the only one I could fight on YouTube. that and that was a close fight. I think it was a split decision, but again, that was 4 or 5 years ago, before Body with Jack, before he got even famous, and when he was still in the early stage of his career, and he still lost to that guy. So, I mean, there's nothing else to really speak on Alexander Brand. The only thing is he's a Colombian that can hit hard. That maybe he's that black horse that comes out of nowhere and can upset the apple cart. But I mean, I really don't see it. And as far as Ward, hopefully this is the last cherry pick in a row. Because that makes 4 cherry picks in a row, 3 from his comeback. And for those of y'all that might be like, well, what are you talking about? He fights the best. No, he used to fight the best. He hasn't fought a legit opponent in years, literally years. It's like an old guy, bragging about like his past glory days, saying, you know what, back in my day, I used to pull bad bitches, supermodels, and all this and that. But yet, he hadn't fucked a bad bitch in years. The only thing he'd fucked recently is some fucking fatties that he met in Arby's, So that's basically what Ward is doing. He's living off of his past glories, pulling the Al Bundy, like, back in high school I scored, 4 touchdowns in 1 game. Oh yeah, what have you done lately? You're a shoe salesman in Chicago. Okay, gotcha. Basically the same shit here. And I'm gonna go ahead and list his last 4 opponents. And you guys these are facts that can be easily verified. So you guys can go on and do your research if you don't believe me. But it started out with his last cherry pick was a slow, unknown Sullivan with only 17 fights. Never gone past 8 rounds before. 0 credible opponents unless you count a old, washed up Captain Hook Jeff Lacey. Okay? And even though he had never gone Sullivan, even though he had never gone past 8 rounds, he stretched Ward all 12. And at only 17 fights. Keep that in mind. Before that was Bum Paul Smith. And this was actually at a requested catch weight of 172 that Ward and his team asked for. Why in God's name he would need a 172 catch weight against Bum Paul Smith, I have no idea. And let me apologize for using bum. I'm just going to say, whenever I say bum on here, I mean the guy's not a bum or anything like that. Literally, I mean, Paul Smith could fucking kick my ass. I'm going to be realistic about it. But I mean, I'm using bum as a term, as a term to describe someone that has a lot lesser skill, in the aspects of boxing. He's not up there at the, top elite. He's not, at the higher echelon level. So that's what I mean about bums. I don't mean he's like a worthless piece of shit. I mean, his skills are a lot less, And, so that was, Paul Smith. And before that was Edwin LeBum Rodriguez. If y'all remember him, maybe. Oh, you don't? Okay, well that's because he literally has beaten no one of name, and his most recent claim to fame was getting knocked the fuck out by Williams Jr. early in like the fucking first round. Okay, he just got iced by Williams, and you're like, well, who's Williams Jr.'s? That's the guy that just got knocked out by Adonis Stevenson early as well. So Edwin LeBum Rodriguez stretched Ward all 12 rounds, got knocked out by some unknown Williams guy, who then got knocked out by Adonis Stevenson at 175. Okay? So, I mean, these are all his last opponents, like I said. Hopefully this Brand guy is the last one. We've waited for so long to see him back, and the fact that we would keep on waiting even longer to see him against a credible opponent, and the fact that he needs so many tune-ups is kind of, frustrating as a fan, and, kind of gets you scratching your head thinking about, well, then doesn't that sound like a double standard, with the whole Triple G situation? And what I mean is, Ward is moving up one weight class from 168 to a light heavy, and before moving against the best guy in that division, he's taken all these tune-ups, 3 tune-ups, and we look at what did he want Triple G to do? He did what he asked Triple G to do, and that's or actually he's not doing that. He asked Triple G to move up to 168, even though Ward himself hadn't made 168 since 2013. And he wanted him to fight the best guy at 168, which was Ward himself. But yet he don't want to practice what he preaches, and he's moving up one weight class only, even though he's gone on record to say he wants to fight at heavyweight. But yet people aren't holding that against him. But yet they remember 154 to 168, according to Abel on the Golovkin side. But yet for some reason they don't want to think about the fact and call him out. Why aren't you fighting at heavyweight? You said you fight at heavyweight. You say you want to fight at heavyweight. Andre Ward, why aren't you fighting Tyson Fury? Deontay Wilder, you know? So you see these, hypocritical things and double standards with Ward, and, as a boxing fan, I can admit, yes, he has some skill, very high skill, but, anyone that's defense first and has had a long, extensive amateur, program, they're going to do well, if they're not a partier or they take the life serious. Basically, if you're not like an Adrian Broner and you're gifted, you can go far, if you're defense first, You're not going to have many fans, but, I guess it's, it is boxing, it's not the right representation of boxing that a lot of us in the casuals would like to see. So, he asked Triple G to move up to 168 and fight him, the best guy in the next division, yet he didn't want to do that. We didn't see Ward jump up to 175 and boom, fight Kovalev right off the bat. So, I don't know. These fucking double standards are ridiculous, and I've seen people say that Brand is better than anyone Triple G has fought, and holy shit, I have no idea what to say about that, but I don't know. I don't even know what to say. That's just stupidity. But tomorrow night, we'll see what happens. Okay, here's my prediction. Ward's gonna win. It's a fucking cherry pick, so what else is there to say? Whether he wins by knockout or 12 rounds, 12 rounds is looking more like his style. He always goes 12. Like I said, Edwin, who had gotten knocked out by some nobody, stretched him 12. Sullivan, who had never gone past 8 rounds, stretched him 12. So I'm predicting 12 round unanimous decision or a late stoppage for Andre Ward, son of Golovkin, SOG. And we'll see, hopefully he takes a Kovalev fight. And my prediction for that, if Chilemba gave, Kovalev some problems, then, I can definitely see Ward giving him some problems. But, again, that's why they fight, to see what happens. Because we don't know, we can only speculate, and you think you have the guaranteed pick, and, it could turn out completely the other way, which could happen here. Alexander Brand could be some world beater that we've never heard of and could go to Oakland and create a muck and upset the cherry pick. But, come on. If a green Badu Jack in the early stages of his career, 4 or 5 years ago beat him, then I don't see how the fuck Ward's not going to beat him. So, there you go. Make your own predictions. Let me know in the comments, is this the biggest cherry pick of Ward's last 4 fights? Bum Paul Smith, Edwin LeBum Rodriguez, Alexander Brand, and Unknown Sullivan. Let me know. Third Coast Boxing, I'm out.